Hey guys, Chris here. Hope everyone's doing well, staying safe, getting outside and taking a few walks and staying as sane as you can be. We're doing our part here in Breckenridge as well. I got a couple of messages from some friends of mine, so I wanted to answer one tonight. It's from my friend Lisa. She says, I have it on good authority that you and your favorite sous chef only shop about once every 3 weeks. I'd love to get a list of your basics that you always like to keep at your house that enable you to create these fabulous meals night after night. Things that one might not normally think of. Well, I don't normally shop once every 3 weeks, so this is just some really weird times right now. I usually go once a week, and honestly, if I needed cilantro for dinner tonight, I would just run down 5 minutes down the street and grab some. So, I'm trying to stay safe and only shop once every couple of weeks. And, you know, not trying to get real fancy on anybody tonight, but I really think that a couple of easy things that people can do right now, if you do eat poultry, is buy a couple of whole chickens at 2 or 3 pound roasters, break them down, legs, thighs, breasts, freeze them. Sharpie on a good Ziploc freezer bag, what it is, and give yourself a week or two of meals for your chicken meals anyway. And then, of course, with the bones, we'll make a really yummy stock out of that. I'm going to do a video on breaking chicken down next week once I go back to the grocery store and on how to make a really good chicken stock. Nothing's really that hard, and just adds a lot of flavor to your daily meals. And that stock you can use in anything from rice pilaf or whatever you're doing, sauces, soups. There's lots of good bouillons out there and that kind of stuff, but nothing beats a really good homemade chicken stock. And it freezes great. I stock up all the time. I try to keep some in the freezer as well. So anyway, some other things I like to keep on hand in the starch world. With rice, I try to keep 3 different kinds on hand. Something quick cooking like a basmati or a jasmine rice, really fast cooking rices, and then a medium grain, something rice pilaf. Gumbo, the medium grain holds up to a little longer cooking process. And then something with just a little flair, like a black rice, red rice, wild rice, something like that, just to keep in the fridge, just to add a little flair. And a lot of these, I buy all the stuff that I'm going to talk about in bulk. So I'm not buying a shit ton of anything. I'm buying, a small bag of basmati or whatever, depending on the size of your family. Buying in bulk is always the best way to go. In the potato world, being half Polak, I love potatoes. So I keep russets on hand at all time. Great for bakers, great for mashers. Red potatoes, go-to for roasting, harder potato, good for soups and roasting and that kinds of things. And then a sweet potato or two just for different flavor. You can look at another recipe I posted online about the tater tots, and I use the russets and the sweet potatoes to make the tater tots. So, you can do all kinds of things with that. Another thing I like to buy in bulk and have a couple of varieties of is cornmeal. Yellow, of course, is polenta, those kinds of things, and also makes a really good crust on chicken and fish. I'm a real fan of blue cornmeal. Usually you can find it in the ethnic section, Latino stuff. It's a finer grind. It's more like almost flour. It makes a great crust on fish, and it's kind of purple colored, so it's also just kind of cool on the plate. Some other things I like to do, is just think about flavors from around the world. Keeping on a couple things in the pantry. Coconut milk, curry paste. You can get like the little containers of the red and green curry paste. Those are always great. Good fish sauce. And then you mix that with your jasmine or your basmati and some seafood or chicken, and that's a great meal right there. I'm thinking Mediterranean style. I always like to keep a couple different kinds of olives on hand, some green ones, some kalamatas, capers, any of those things, artichoke hearts, sun-dried tomatoes. That will last for months in the refrigerator. Just a good thing to have as a quick throw in at the last minute. Flavors in your fridge. Because we're living in Colorado, we love all of South American flavors. I love all the roasted chili flavors. A couple of my favorites are the guajillo, pasilla, ancho. You can get those at pretty much any grocery store these days. I believe you're looking for ones that aren't like dry and crispy. They should have a little bit of pliability to them still and still be a little bit soft, even though they're roasted. We're lucky enough in Colorado in season we get them fresh roasted. Another thing I always have on hand, not right now, is fresh herbs. I love Italian parsley, not the curly stuff, the flat leaf parsley. Cilantro we eat a ton of here in Colorado. And I just love to keep the freshness of that on hand. You add that at the last minute, it just adds a burst of fresh flavor to any meal, whatever sauce you're cooking. And then when the herbs start to go a little south, you can make a chimichurri out of those. Chimichurris just have like 4 ingredients where you're just going to have the herbs, vinegar, a couple of pepper flakes, garlic, red wine vinegar, and Cuisinart. And that stuff lasts for weeks and weeks. Really bright green, beautiful color, great for marinade, great for a sauce, great for the grill. So that's just a couple things I put together. Next week, we're going to work on some chicken stock, breaking down chickens, and some other things. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Hope everyone's staying safe. Peace.